Today we are going to borrow some elements from others. So assuming you are just as lazy as me and you have some elements that you've created already, or maybe you've seen some free elements on Gumroad like I did the other time, we can easily borrow them and use them instead of having to draw, right? So in case you don't want to do all the drawing, what I'm going to teach you is how to just borrow these and use them. So I already have it here, right? So what you need to do is I'm going to leave the link in the I'm going to leave the link down below. You can download it. Then what you're going to do is, assuming this is the, let me just take it to, assuming you have this. Oh, that's not. Okay, so yeah, assuming this is the file that you downloaded, right? You open it up. You open the working file. It's going to open up the drawing. So assuming this is the drawing, you just go to the drawing itself. Make sure everything is closed up. Then you come to your library section. If you don't have it, just press the plus. You come to your library section right here. Usually it will be locked like this, right? So you just have to right click it and go to right to modify. Okay, so once you have that you can just easily create, just come to new folder. It's going to create a new folder, so you have to go inside, open it in, find a new folder. Where did I go? Yeah, so you find a new folder, sure, one of this. You right click, you rename to whatever you have. This you have. So now with the new folder selected, I'm just going to click and drag and move it here. So okay, save. So what you're going to do, because you are working on a different scene altogether, what you have to do is just close everything. Make sure you close everything, right? So make sure you saved it. You close everything, then you relaunch the software. Okay. Alright, so now that you reopen the software, you go back to your library, you right click, come down to where you saved it, and now you have it. So wherever you need it, you can easily just, let me bring this down a little bit, just click and drag it either onto the node view. So once you put it there, usually what I don't know why Toon does that is, you can click and drag it here, right? It's imported. So assuming I'm this close, right? You click and drag it here. Now it's imported, but I don't know where it is. So you just have to do, don't press anything, just press the O on your mouse and it's going to take you to that direction. So there's where it is, right? Okay, so there's not what I need. I've already loaded the hand that I want. It's right here. I'm going to use this one. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to import this. Oh, it already has everything here. Alright, so I don't need it in a group like this, so I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to paste it outside. Just gonna cut, locate this hand, because clearly the name was left and this will be the left hand. So I'm just going to locate that left hand, just press 0 or O, sorry, locate it. So I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, so now that you have that part of the hand in, we are going to try and copy the pivot that we use for the other hands that we don't need anymore, right? So I'm going to create a new reference, going to create a new drawing. So drawing, create a reference, and I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to put it in front of everything, because you know Toon reads from left to right, right? So I select that reference, I go to my tools, I use my ellipse tool, make sure my ellipse tool is selected, Then I change my size to, let's say, 2, right? So now that I have the size at 2, I'll go to my tool property. Make sure I have my snapping turn on because we're going to need that, right? So we're going to using the reference. Let's just come around here. So what we need is we just try to create something around something that looks like this circle. So I'm just gonna click and drag, holding the shift and alternate to have some kind of a perfect circle, right? We are not gonna have it perfectly. So once you have it drawn like this, you're just gonna try and adjust it a little bit, right? Because you have the snapping tool turned on, you feel that friction when you're going upward. So we just need it to align to the curve on the side of the hand, right? See this, I'm just going to keep adjusting till I get it quite close to that curve. You see, it seems like it's aligned to that curve, right? So now that we have this, I'm just going to select everything again, right? Make sure everything is selected. I think maybe I should increase the size to, let's say, 4. Now I'm going to decrease it or reduce it. Holding down the shift and alternate, I'm going to reduce it lower. I keep reducing it. I think it's too big, so I'm going to reduce the size. I'm going to select again and reduce the size to, let's say, 2. Alright, so now that the size is around 2, I'm going to reduce it just a little bit more. So as you can see, it's there, but it's very small. So we are going to use it as our pivot for the hands that we borrowed, right? So now I wouldn't need this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this, the peg of the broad hand, and I'm going to connect the peg of the broad hand to the hand that we have, and I'm going to replace these lines because we don't need it anymore. Now that I don't need that, I delete them. As you can see, the hand is somewhere. That's not where we want it. So I'm just going to bring it in our box, right? And I'm going to add in a static transformation, right? And as you all know, it's supposed to be in between the drawing and the peg, right? So with the static transformation in there, I'm going to click on the peg, right? And I'm going to move the hand to where we want our hand to be placed. So I'm going to try and eyeball it. This is not the final size. I'm going to try and eyeball it, right? But I want it a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to click and drag, just holding down the Alt and Shift key to make the hand just a slightly bigger. And because it's not our hand, it wasn't created for us, there's going to be some problems that we need to fix, right? So now that I have that there and I have the reference for the pivot there, I'm going to go to make sure my drawing, go to the property, make sure it's on embedded pivot, right? So it doesn't have a different pivot from the peg, from the parent peg, right? Alright, so now that I have that, I'm going to select the peg, right? I'm going to select the drawing parent peg, make sure I'm on the drawing parent peg, and I'm going to use a translate tool, and I'm going to move our pivot of the drawing of the peg, right? The one that we just copied, the one that we just borrowed. I'm going to move it using that point that we created as a reference. We are not going to get it perfectly, right? But we try to get it as close as possible. Let's just decrease the size a little bit. Let's say 0.5 should do. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to the peg, go back to my translate tool. Then I'm going to try and place it to the center. It's not going to be perfect, but if you zoom out, it works. Okay, so now you can rotate the hand at that point, and now you can select and rotate the hand at that point. Just try it out and see if it works. Alright, so I'm just going to increase the size just a little bit. So we rotate it. So now, as you see, now we can just use the drawing substitution. We didn't have to draw them all over again. But in case you want something original, you can use the previous one that we did and create your very shape, right? So go to the static comp and make sure it's big immediate parent peg. Once you click on it, it's going to move, right? So you just close it, select the peg again and press R. It's going to replace it. but we need to put the pivot back. It's going to move. So just like we did using the reference, I'm going to use my translate tool and I'm going to move it down, right? So we are going to place our peg right back in the center. It's not going to be perfect, but we try and trace it right back into the center, right? So now if I should take it out and press R, it comes back and I can move it perfectly. So we delete the references, we don't need the reference again. And that's it. We are going to do the same thing for the other side, right? Because we need identical hands for the other side. So now I can scrub through, and as you can see, there's a lot of drawings here that you would have to create them individually. So in case you don't want to use this method, you can create them yourself like we did in the initial video. But if you want to use this method, it helps, right? So now let us do the same for the other side. So what we are going to do is we are going to select everything that we did on this side. Select everything, Control C. So you copy everything, you paste special. So that would be Control B. Right, that wouldn't be the normal. So you copy everything, you paste Control B. Make sure you have create new colors and we use assistant drawing check. Right. So now that I have it here, I'm just gonna select it and move it up a little bit. Right, okay. So I'm just gonna do the same like we did with the other one, replace the cables. Then I'm going to replace the parent peg, connect it to the main one. I'm going to delete the ones that we don't need. And just like that we have it. I'm just gonna move it. And you see, because it's the same, they are sharing properties, so the static transformation works for both, so you don't need to do it again, right? So now I can scrub through and it moves independently of the other one. It doesn't affect the other drawing, right? So as you can see, the colors look different, right? So now what we're going to do is you're going to go to your color palette and you're going to look for the name of the element that you brought in. So assuming you dragged in you dragged in a hand, right? So it comes with its own palette. So you look for the name of it, right? I think mine should be named. I'm just gonna keep searching for the name of mine. Keep searching. Assuming you brought in the hand, it should state, you would find the hand right there. So I think mine was brought from a different character, so it will come with the character's name. I think that will be the. I keep searching. Which one is it? Yeah, I think this is the one, right? So I'm just gonna change one color and see if it works. Oh, good, exactly, that's it. So once I select that palette, I just come to the color which is named skin, right? This is the one I'm working on. Right, I just select the name. There's the name, the girl next door. Yours might be different based on what you used. So I just select the name. I come to the colors, the one that says skins. Using this eyedropper tool, I just click and drag and point it to the color that I want to pick. Right. So now I drop it and everything that was using that color initially is going to pick the color that I sampled. So if I should scrub through, you realize that everything picked the color that we need. So now we don't have to repaint or recolor everything one at a time, right? And it's going to affect the other part because they are sharing the same properties. So that's it, right? So I'm just gonna test it out. That's why I have handles and I keep forgetting to use it. So I'm just gonna use a handle and I'm just gonna test it out. Just click on the handle, press B to move up the hierarchy, then I just tilt it, right? So just gonna try and test it out. So because the hand wasn't created with us in mind, we kind of borrowed it or stole it from somewhere. You're gonna have some discrepancy, so we just adjust it, but it wouldn't be something obvious. You just have to move it slightly. And if I use a drawing substitutions, as you can see, everything is soon to be in the right place. So yeah, this is one easy way of doing it. Or if you want something very original, you just have to do it the manual way. So I'm just going to reset all the poses. I select the peg, press R, select the peg, press R, select, press R, select, press R. Alright, so Yeah, we have that. So I'm just gonna set the poses. Okay. Alright, so now that we are done with that, we are going to arrange our pegs properly, right? So we are going to create some kind of hierarchy like we did with the hands, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a new peg, something that's going to be the master of our whole rig. So let's say master. Um, okay, so I would like it to pick the same properties from the master peg that we created already. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, select on the Kiko master, and I'm going to create a peg from that. So Control P. I didn't mean to save it. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm just going to change the name of the second one since I want the first one to be the master. So I'll probably just change the name. So what we are going to do is we are going to create that hierarchy. Like when we select the main one, it follows, other parts follow, like we did with the hands right here. Right. So we are going to do the same kind of hierarchy, but I like to start from the lower part. So I'm gonna start from the legs, right? So what I want to do is I want the leg and the waist to move together, right? So I think I'll create a peg here, and I think that I'll just name that one lower torso. So that's the lower part of the body. So that will be our lower torso, right? So that's it. And I want it to share the same um properties with the waist, right? As okay, so I'll need the pivot position of the waist for the lower torso. So I'm going to open up the properties of both. So properties for waist, properties for the lower torso, and I'm going to copy and paste. Right. So that's it. So now they are sharing the same properties. So now I'm going to connect the legs to it. So now I have a peg where if I select the whole lower body. Right. I think I want this slightly higher. I don't like where it rotates, so I'm going to use a translate tool, and where it is, I'm just going to hold down the shape so it follows a straight line. I'm going to drag it up just slightly. You can position it any way you want, but that's where I want it. So now we have that for the lower leg, right? So we're gonna do the same for the upper torso, right? So I think the neck color has to go with the uh does it have to go with the torso? So let's say if I should move the torso around, it goes with the neck color. And I can move the neck colors separately. Alright, so I'm gonna join in the neck color with the torso, and I'm going to create another peg. That will be the upper torso. Right, so I'm going to add and close it. Wait, that wasn't a peg, that was a drawing. Make sure I'm on display. Go to create a peg, name it upper torso, and just like we did for the lower part, yeah, just like we did for the lower part, arms are gonna. I just need to figure out where I need a pivot. So I think I'm gonna copy the pivot for the torso front. I'm going to open out the properties for both, and I'm just gonna copy, paste, copy, paste, and that is it. So I'm gonna connect you to this. Right, I'm gonna connect the hand. Sorry. what I need is this. So now if I should select it also. Alright, so I think the torso definitely does not move alone, right? It's always going to be moving with the head and the neck. So I have one for the head separately, and I think I need another one for just the head and neck, right? Uh, all I did was I selected this, and I'm going to go Control P. It's going to take the name of the peg that I selected. I'm going to slide it right here. So what I'm going to do is, this is for the head alone, right? And as you can see, our neck is outside. So with the neck too, I'm going to connect our neck details as a shadow to the neck. So wherever I move this, it moves along. Then I'm going to change the name of this, make it head. That's head, and I'm going to change the name of this and make it the head and neck. Okay. Alright. So it controls both the head and the neck. I'll bring it right here. So now if I select this, it's just a head, so I can do the tilting of the head. Or I want to do something more drastic, which we'll barely use. I'm taking it out. Alright, so we have the upper torso and we have the lower torso. As you can see, if I select it, it moves with everything. If I select the upper torso, it moves with everything. So as I said, the upper torso doesn't move separately, so we need the upper torso and the upper part of the whole rig to move together. I think I would like, so the positioning of the pivot is all up to you, how you want it to rotate, right? So it's all up to you. Always change it. Alright, so I'm going to create another peg for just these parts, right? That way I can move the body like this, assuming this where my, right, so move it like that. But I just noticed we have torso back, so it moves everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another peg. Because I want to use the same pivot as this, I'm going to select this, the upper torso, Control P, so it creates that. And I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to put it right here, just above this. Let's just work. So once I create that, I'm just going to stretch it out a bit. I'm going to connect. I'm going to connect it to the master. Then I'm going to connect this, the head and the neck through it. Right. So now we have this. When I select this, I'm going to move it here. So when I select this, I'm just moving this part. So I think I want the, and as I said, your pivot position is up to you. So I'm just going to copy it where I want my pivot position to be. Everybody has their different way of. So just make sure you change the name so you don't forget. So I'm going to name this my upper body. So I need the same for both the need the upper body properties and I need the upper torso, because I'm going to copy the upper torso properties for the upper body. So now if I should select this, the upper body, I move everything on the upper body, right? Okay, so now I need a peg that's going to control everything. All right, so with the master itself, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect a cable from the lower body all the way to the master. So that way, whenever I click this, now it has everything. So you can move your pivot somewhere. So once you click that, so we have the full body. I'm just going to create a large spec for the name itself. So this is our Kiko master. So now we have a hierarchy for it, right? I think everything is connected to something. All right, so we'll start working on the turnaround. So if I should go to my reference and turn, and sometimes it's good that you go through your working space and delete stuff that you do not need, right? So whatever I do not need, these are the reference for the hands. I don't think I need them anymore. I'm just going to delete them. So now let me just check my turnaround. I'm going to turn that one on. All right, so I'm just going to move it around. So what we are going to do is we are going to try and replicate these shapes, right? We're going to try and replicate these shapes, then we'll flip it to the other side to create a full 360. But before that, I think we need to ink this, make it solid lines. So we need to make a solid line so we can actually see where the shapes are. So then, yeah, make a solid line. All right,